KTVB Boise, Idaho's news channel. This is Idaho's most complete night report and a first look at tomorrow. Reported by Dave Eckert, with Mark Johnson on sports and Rick Lance with Idaho's weather.
Good evening. Here's what's happening tonight. More than a week after the Soviet nuclear accident at Chernobyl, radiation has now reached the United States. NewsCenter 7's Mary Shore is standing by in the newsroom to let us know how much has arrived, and I guess most of all, Mary, if this is something we should worry about.
That is the main concern on everybody's mind, but first of all, I'll tell you where the radiation is located. Low-level radiation from the Chernobyl reactor was first detected by the EPA in the Northwest yesterday. But at this point, state and federal health officials are not recommending any special precautions. A cloud of very weak radiation at a level of 30,000 feet was recorded in the Northwest on Sunday, moving toward the east at about 100 miles per hour. It's believed to be in the Midwest by now. Another cloud measured at 18,000 feet above California is also thought to have moved all the way to Wyoming. Rain showers could bring minute amounts of radiation to the Earth, but right now, no abnormal ground-level radiation has been detected anywhere in the United States. Although no readings have been taken at 30,000 feet, Idaho health officials believe that cloud is probably above Idaho right now. But Bob Funderburg of the Health and Welfare Department says a ground-level measurement taken at 10 a.m. showed no unusual readings. It indicated 0.2 picocuries of radiation. And Funderburg says the results would have to read higher than 1,000 before safety precautions are required, such as switching from river water to well water or putting cattle on dry fodder. A quick public opinion survey showed little concern about the radiation.
Well, to be quite honest with you, I haven't really caught the news lately, so I'm not really sure.
I've been busy with another business over the weekend, and one of the people that was there was from ARCO, and so I asked her about it. And I asked them if they were concerned, and they said no, not at all.
Others weren't quite so sure about the government's reassurances.
They could be, and on the other hand, they may not be telling the truth because, you know, the government can hold things back for the protection of the people. And on the other hand, they may be telling us the truth, but I don't know.
The EPA will probably tell us what we want to hear and not what is actually occurring. And even if they could tell us what maybe is actually occurring, we couldn't understand it in the terms that we would know.
Now, another test will be conducted here in Boise tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., and the results should be in by about 3 o'clock, and we'll be sure to tell you what those results are. Dave?
Okay, Mary, we'll look for those. Thank you. There is also new information tonight from the site of the accident. Soviet television has shown pictures of the damaged reactor building at Chernobyl. However, the latest U.S. intelligence pictures are said to show the walls have now caved in more than the Russian pictures show, and smoke in the area is somewhat heavier than it was a few days ago. Tonight, Moscow television is showing these pictures near Kiev: cows grazing, potatoes being harvested, and a Geiger counter showing a zero-level radiation reading. Meantime, the Soviets are acknowledging that the radiation has spread beyond the 18-mile belt around the accident site. How far beyond the area, the Soviets aren't saying. Here in the U.S., the Hanford nuclear site continues to receive increased attention in the wake of the Soviet accident. Tonight, the Department of Energy is calling for an outside review of the safety at the Hanford reactor. Hanford is one of the U.S. plants. Matter of fact, it is the only U.S. plant that uses a graphite system similar to the one used at Chernobyl. Because of that, the DOE will have an outside panel of experts review the situation.
We want to look carefully at our reactor here because it uses graphite, but there are so many dissimilarities, we believe. There are so many safety mechanisms we have that we do not believe that reactor has that we are not, in a sense, worried. But by the same token, the Secretary feels that it is appropriate in light of that incident to look carefully at our reactor that does use the graphite.
Despite the impending probe, the manager at Hanford says the reactor is safer today than the day it opened. International terrorism. It is making the world increasingly unsafe. At the 11th Annual Economic Summit in Tokyo, Western leaders have taken a strong stand against terrorism while singling out Libya. The statement wasn't all the U.S. wanted, but it was a success. The Americans had come to the summit hoping to build support for the efforts against terrorism. Statement in hand, the administration is calling the action a major victory.
What's the message of this statement to Muammar Gaddafi?
The message is, you've had it, pal. You are isolated. You are recognized as a terrorist.
In actuality, the statement likely does much less. Singling out Libya, the leaders agreed to ban arms sales to states supporting terrorism and to restrict their embassies, both actions already in practice. But for the first time, the countries pledged to deny entry to suspected terrorists and make extradition easier. Still, there was no movement on the 2 points the U.S. was pushing hardest: economic sanctions and military action. This man, Abu Abbas, is threatening action tonight. Abbas, who calls President Reagan his #1 enemy, says terrorism could come to the United States this year. Abbas is a Palestinian, the man believed to have orchestrated the hijacking of the Achille Laurel cruise ship. He is sought by 3 governments and has a $250,000 reward hanging over his head. Now, as a result of the American strikes on Libya, Abbas says his terrorist organization will launch attacks inside the U.S.
In the beginning, our operations were only targeted at the Israeli enemy in Israel. America is now conducting the war against us on behalf of Israel. We therefore have to respond against America in America itself.
Abbas's group, the Palestine Liberation Front, is believed to have been behind numerous raids in Israel, including this one that claimed 4 lives in a northern Israeli village. Like so many battling in the Mideast, though, Abbas says he does not consider himself a terrorist, claiming he's simply fighting against, quote, the state of oppression the Palestinians have lived in for 40 years. Coming up next on the Night Report, trying to legislate a tough problem: pollution from wood-burning stoves. Also, what could be a last gasp for tax reform. Oregon Senator Bob Packwood pitching hard for his latest proposal.
When I go grocery shopping, I read all the labels because I want to know what my family's getting. And it's always bugged me that I could never get nutritional information on meat. Well, I guess that occurred to Albertsons because now they have Lean Facts. Lean Facts explains right on the package the calorie, protein, and vitamin content on most cuts of Albertsons beef, pork, and lamb. I'll buy more meat now because with Lean Facts, I finally know what I'm getting.
Albertsons. We give you more for less.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing.
Burger King introduces chicken tenders.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
Real fillets of all white meat chicken breast, not processed like nuggets.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
New chicken tenders from Burger King. Not chicken nuggets, real chicken fillets.
100 years ago, our Yellow Pages started helping people in the West.
My cattle are stranded. I've got to get some feed up there.
And though we were the only Yellow Pages in town, we worked to be the best we could be.
Thanks, boys.
At U.S. West Direct, we still believe in that tradition.
I have to get some feed to my cattle today.
We publish the West's complete Yellow Pages to help more people find what they're looking for. U.S. West Direct, publisher of the West's best Yellow Pages.
It might be spring, but the Boise City Council is taking a look back at a serious problem from the smoggy days of last winter: wood smoke. The council will soon consider 2 different proposals aimed at eliminating wood smoke pollution in the Treasure Valley. A plan drawn up by Councilmember Jay Webb would ban the use of wood stoves during pollution alerts, exempting those who depend exclusively on wood for heat. Mayor Kempthorne says that's tough to enforce, preferring to tighten emission standards. In the end, the council could end up passing both.
They're not mutually exclusive. You could adopt my ordinance and adopt the other ordinance, or you could adopt one or the other. It can be a package, or it could be just one.
I'm satisfied they will pass something, and secondly, I think they'll pass the mayor's plan, too.
Webb's proposal could be introduced to the council as early as next week. The Boise School District's tax override levy goes to the voters on May 20th. Tonight, there's some opposition to report. The Ada County Property Owners Association says there's